Okay, here we go. I'm gonna share the link again. All right, there's YouTube. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let me double check YouTube, make sure everything's going good. Looks like it's still loading. Yeah, looks good. All right, welcome back everyone to the Ethermon community call. This is number 17, and so yeah, we've been doing this 17 weeks, I think. Yeah, 17 weeks so far, and it certainly hasn't felt that long. I mean, it feels like every single one is like the first one. So I appreciate everybody showing up. This is a big deal for us. It's important to have these community calls simply because there's always a lot of updates and, just Medium articles and like Discord pushes. It's not, there's like a disconnect there, and having these community calls is like, I think the best way to really communicate all these updates, even if they're not all the way ready. So I appreciate you guys showing up. My name is Will. Sometimes they call me Robot Will just because of some faulty hardware indication, but yeah. And with me, I have Miss Dinkle Puff. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's really cool.
Yes. So you are a newly moderator in Ethermon, right?
Yes,
All right.
I am. I applied. I think it was last week. Everything just flies so fast. I think you sent that out last week.
Okay, excellent.
And 2 weeks maybe, I applied and I got to do the program.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, so we have a process for any new moderators to go through this this process where you apply, and I guess we go through this questionnaire. And then if you guys fit with sort of the effort that we need, then we bring you on, and then eventually this becomes a paid gig. So so it's play to earn in all respects.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do this. So Miss Dinklepuff, I have a couple of questions for you, but I think it's more important that we go over just some of these dev updates, just because. The dev team really likes me when I talk about, a lot of
and I really like that too. It's really important to keep my knowledge of this up, actually.
Absolutely. Okay, so we do have a POAP bot or a POAP to give away. We have some Emon to give away, and we are also giving away 2 Ethermon Genesis Reborn Mons from the store. So just stay tuned. This will happen towards the end of the call, and we'll do those giveaways. And here we go. So as you can see, we have this Pope here. But what I wanted to talk about was we have a wheel update, right? So we've been talking about this wheel for maybe like 2 to 3 weeks now, something like that. And it's been sort of like released and then taken back, and like there's a lot of stuff going on with this wheel. So so a couple of updates. So we have 2 wheels, right? Wheel 1 is going to be it's going to cost 5,000 tickets per spin, and wheel 2 will cost 50,000 tickets per spin. And once the wheels are ready, we'll have a few more developments to kind of release before they're actually out. But the idea here is that with every single spin, you'll be able to earn these new items, including Mons. And so some of these new items, there's roughly 4 right now that we can release. So if you think about the Ethermon game in the 3D space, it's going to be relatively large. And so there's going to be a ton more items beyond these 4. But these 4 would represent sort of what we call a closed loop. So once these 4 items are released, you'll be able to collect these items, craft your axe, or whatever items are going to be available at that point. And what's cool about this crafting mechanic is once you're able to craft, these items that you're crafting are completely unique, right? They're ERC 721s, and they're going to have their own stats. And so these items are potentially going to be tradable pretty soon, like once this gets rolled out. But all items crafted are going to be unique. So that's a pretty interesting as far as the gameplay goes. So not every axe will be the same. So this is important because you'll need these items in order to craft and then upgrade and then progress in the game. And so these items are going to be progressively harder to find. So essentially, out of these four, item number 2 is going to be harder to find than item number 1, and then item number 3 will be harder than 2, and so forth. And so there's going to be a lot of grinding in that respect, but that's sort of part of the game and part of how you'll progress. And this grinding mechanic will kind of persist in a lot of the activities that you'll be doing. So it's not just killing slime, but eventually it's going to be using that axe at a tree, and there's going to be different kinds of trees and all that. So you'll need different items to craft specific stuff, right? This is like generic, standard gameplay stuff, right? But what's interesting is that these items are, well, a lot of them could be tradable. It will just depend on like sort of the economics of it, but the items that you use themselves would be 721. So that's going to be cool. So here we have the one of the items that you'll be able to get is a piece of wood. And so that wood you'll be able to obtain via wheel 1. So it'll give everyone who's grinded so far for the tickets, you'll get a head start in crafting your axe. And that head start will be massive because you'll need that axe for further gameplay, and that's going to be released soon. And then what's cool in wheel 2 is that there's this item that's called ore. And so this piece of metal will allow you to craft a more sophisticated axe. And but I guess the situation with this piece of metal is that you'll be able to win it in the wheel, but it won't be exactly ready or essentially released. So you'll own it, but you won't be able to use it quite yet. But once it's usable, you'll have like a massive head start. And so remember, this is wheel 2, so we're talking about 50,000 tickets. I think there's a few players who have a little bit beyond 50,000 tickets. It's a good handful, but essentially, they'll have like a really good head start. Another update here. So we have a new battle system that's in testing, and so we've talked about how a turn-based kind of game is a little bit more suitable for a metaverse kind of like Decentraland. And so we've been testing that, and the turn-based style seems to work the best in our testing, and we have new elements added to this. So we have burn effects such as burn, paralyze, and confuse. And I think there's going to be a little bit more burn effects as well to kind of experience. But that's like the initial set that we have going on right now, and there's definitely no timeline for release just yet. Just stay tuned for like our Medium updates and our Discord pushes. But this has been testing for a good number of weeks now, and it looks really solid. And here, let's see. And feel free to ask any questions that you have in the chat. We'll kind of jump into these when we can. And let's see. I think we have one or two more updates, and then we can kind of get this chat going. So, here's something cool. So the mons themselves in the 3D space, they will have unique. I don't want to say unique. They'll have different moves. So not you're when you play the game so far, you've only had about 8 moves, and they're all standard across the board. But what we're going to do now is the mons will have randomized moves, and you'll be able to discover new moves, and you'll be able to upgrade your slots to add moves to your mon. So that's going to add a new element in terms of strategy. So I think this is the best. Instead of having standard moves across the board, we'll have a random set of moves per mon. And here's something cool here. I have pulled up this link, which I'll share in a moment. But what you're looking at here is we're going to be releasing this friendly tool that shows the rarity of each mon and the stats, and then you'll be able to sort these mons through OpenSea and the gallery. But essentially, what you're looking at here are the different mons that are available, and you'll be able to see which ones have how many on chain and how many off chain, and you'll be able to kind of see like the element of rarity for each of these mons. So it's going to be a helpful tool, and I kind of went through it, and looks like all the mons that we have are here. So I'll open it up to you guys so you can check out. But yeah, this is going to be helpful for you guys, kind of looking for specific mons and where they're at in terms of rarity. So what do you think so far, Ms. Dinklepuff?
I love this. Just one of my things I was going to say that is 3D game is quite easy. So I mean, with the new turn-based update, that would be perfect. And also one of my points is that some of the information might get lost. So great if we have a perfect tool to help us.
Okay, excellent.
It's really awesome.
Yeah, obviously the whole team plays the game. I play a lot more of the 3D space, and not knowing like how rare some of these mons is something like everyone asks about. And so I think this might be kind of like the best way to kind of see what the rarities are, and it's pretty easy to use. I mean, it's straightforward. Let's see. Any questions in the chat here? Did you see any questions? Okay, yeah, of course, the good old adventure mode release. So there's no update on the adventure mode release just yet. That it's still in progress. It's not like one of the highest priorities in terms of like the team right now, but it's still in progress. Okay, let's see. Okay, there's no other question that I'm seeing here. What are the marks used for again? So the marks are going to be spendable on the wheel. I don't think they will be spendable initially, but they will be eventually. And so those marks will then you can convert those to the items and potentially mons. Okay. All right. So I have a couple of questions for you, Ms. Dinklepuff. So tell me a little bit about the journey that kind of led you into Ethermon, and even the kind of the crypto space itself. Like, just walk me through kind of that journey.
Okay. My brother has been doing cryptos since 2016 or something, very early. He has been talking about this a lot. He's also one of my closest friends, but I have never had money, so I could never do that. Then basically he, for my 30th birthday, just 2 months ago, he bought one NFT, and he bought it because it's supposed to be a play to earn, an NFT game basically. And he said that, so since you're always gaming and you're at the computer all the time and you don't really have a job, so you can do this maybe.
Yeah.
It was very kind because we have been talking a lot about cryptos, and even though I can't invest, he basically helped me. So he gave me basically half of an NFT because he's kind of cheap. And he basically invited me to the space, which is super cool. So, and that made me search a lot on pay-to-earn games and this space, which basically led me to you guys, obviously. And it's been just 2 months, but this hyperspeed adventure is insane. It's super cool.
Yeah, it's really fast.
That's how I ended up here.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we've always speculated. So I've been running a podcast with iMan for like since 2019, and we've always speculated that NFTs was really going to bring in the masses, and it wasn't going to be cryptocurrency or financial system or anything like that. And I think it's true, and we're still at the very early stages of this sort of like NFT migration of the masses.
Yeah,
and so,
but it's very obvious top signals coming, like me for once, but I have actually grew up at the computer, but I forced my friend to go into this, and she basically doesn't know anything about computer and tech. So definitely top signals happening right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, even if you've been watching, Bitcoin today, it just like erupted and it went past like its local resistance point. And I think this is signaling another leg in this like bull run, because I think we've still got a couple of months left. But you're right. There's been a lot of top signals. I mean, if we were back in 2017 and we're talking about Elon Musk and Visa and all these like companies getting into Bitcoin, we'd be pressing the sell button at that point. But this cycle is different. I think we all expected companies to jump in. And yeah, I mean they're here, and I think we still got a little time left before things really like pop. And
I really hope so, because it feels so scared to be just one person, and then that big ass people are coming.
Yeah,
it's happening for real. That's scary, but also cool.
Yeah, for sure. So going back to Ethermon. So what's your? I guess you play a lot more of the 2D game, and just. It's more complete, right? It's also been around for a little while. So what would your feedback be in terms of the 2D side?
I actually enjoy both very much, but the 2D is more difficult to learn, which is also great that you basically just showed us this tool, because it is a lot of information that you need to go through, and that takes time. So I have absolutely read through these basic, like different types, how you set that up. And also, I think there was a community call, maybe not, it was a webinar, I think, about the 2D game, which was perfect because you learned a lot and you got these great info. But it's also rough to remember it all and just really have it in. So it's more difficult, but it's also what I like about it, the 2D game, and also that you have put it up for different levels is perfect. Like if you are new, you can still just go start play it instantly, basically.
So
it's really cool.
Were you a big traditional gamer?
Yes. I mean, yes, for being a woman, if that's yeah.
Where were you playing before?
You mean like whatever games I played?
Yeah, traditionally, yeah.
Okay.
Non-NFT.
Actually, I started when I was 11, and a game called Tibia. That was before Ragnarok. And then I obviously played that too. Recent years, I've been playing a lot of social games. These, even those story games, you basically just click what the person should do. And a lot of Dota. I'm sorry for all the LOL fans, but yeah. So basically everything, but my absolute favorite recent game is Divinity Original Sin 2.
Oh, interesting.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So the reason why I ask is because there's a clear difference between traditional gaming and NFT gaming in terms of like fidelity, completeness, quality, and all that stuff. But there's also a different mechanic in obviously owning the assets. So do you think that the larger gaming community that's not in NFT right now, do you think that they're going to find the fact that they can own assets something that's going to force traditional gaming to kind of adjust?
Yes, for sure. I am not a merch buyer. I don't understand that at all. I am not basic, since I have no money also, I don't buy stuff. But every person I know, no matter if they're my age, which is 30 or below, they are obsessed with skins and how their avatar looks. It's bananas for me. Just I don't get it. Just when I was brought up, I was basically, you don't pay for games. That was the main thing my father said to me. You play free games and that's what you do. And I've kept to that basically all my. Also, that's why I don't have cool skins on Dota.
Right.
But so I think because it's so common already there to put money in the game for not really useful stuff. So I have no issue seeing that coming.
Yeah, that's funny. They have traditional gaming already has off-chain assets, right?
Yeah,
They exist. They just I guess they're
don't
going.
earn them any.
They don't exactly. And so I do think that traditional gaming is going to adjust just because the masses are going to force them to. But I think we might. We're still a ways away before we see like major games like start pushing NFTs. And really, from a technical standpoint, it's pretty straightforward to start issuing NFTs. But I think from a gameplay mechanic standpoint, that's more difficult because since NFTs sort of exist forever, do you, as a game creator, are you going to be supporting the game forever? Right? Is that what you have to do? Or and then what do you have to, like, if you make another game, do you have to support the previous or the old NFTs? Like it forces the game designer to really rethink how to make a game.
Yeah.
So
I'm not jealous of that.
yeah, right.
I'm not a developer, but damn, they have to be super smart
Yes.
and thinking so far in the future.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the games that are really popular right now are like first-person shooters that it's a free-to-play games. You kind of jump into this arena and you shoot at other players. What's interesting about that from a mechanic standpoint is that there's no story, there's nothing. It's just you come in and you try to just shoot other players. And but the mechanic there is sustainable because it's a first-person shooter, an arena, and you kind of rinse and repeat. And I think that falls well in line with like the ability of NFTs. Since they last forever, you put an asset that lasts forever in a game that's like never ending, then you got a perfect match.
That's actually very smart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that's what Ethermon is too, because these assets, since they last forever, I mean, you can continuously collect these assets, right? Ethermon, and progress in the game and use those assets to earn. And so we're having to really kind of think about these new mechanics just because of blockchain, which I think is one of the more fascinating things in terms of gaming has seen so far.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Any questions in the chat? So I gave a couple of dev updates and I kind of flew by those. If you guys can ask those questions again, it's kind of hard to kind of scroll up and everything. We are giving away the Pope in. Let's do that right now. So let's see. I want to see how many people are in the chat.
How will I get one now? Oh no.
Oh. Well, no worries. I got you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I got you.
Is there a place where I can read more about this wheel? Oh.
Is there a place? Man, I guess. Technically the answer is no. There is no place to read more about the wheel. You could go back to our community calls where we discuss the wheel. But typically what we'll do is once the wheel is open, we'll make an announcement. We'll have a Medium article kind of explaining, the items that you can get, the cost for the items, and you'll be able to see everything there. But that's sort of why you want to join these community calls, because you prepare yourself for what's coming up next, and the wheel is a big component. So that reminds me. So I was talking to EB, and he was saying that there's a chance that we can have maybe like the next week or so where there's a 5x return on discovering or battling for silver tickets. Just in preparation for this release. I guess that's sort of like a leak, but a confirmation will be released soon. So now you can kind of like prepare yourself for this wheel in that case. Okay, so we got Arthur saying 5K ticket is very steep. Not many members will be able to participate. Kind of. I'm not so sure because we saw the list. I mean, you can go back to the old list that we have when we were doing giveaways with the silver tickets list. There's quite a few people with over 5,000 tickets. Okay.
And it doesn't reset, right? I can collect forever.
Well,
it doesn't reset like the ladders, does it?
No, the ladders. So
exactly.
that's completely separate. The ladders is separate than the tickets. But that's a good point that you bring up. That the items that you're going to be finding from the slimes are going to change. So I think there's still going to be an element of tickets involved, but it's going to be significantly less. And so we're going to replace those with those items that you're going to be battling for.
All right.
Okay, let's see here. Is that a ticket that you get in Decentraland? Yeah, that's correct, Mary DLQ. Yeah, you battle these slimes. When you win, you get these tickets. Okay, every spin will always have something in return, or will there be try again spin? That's a good question for the moderator. I don't remember the wheel. I think every spin gets you something. And then the top prize in wheel 1 is 50,000 tickets, which gives you, a spin for the more expensive wheel. The moderators have tried the wheel, so they'll have more clear answers than I would. So I do believe you win something every spin, right? So you're essentially trading your tickets for these items, just to reward you for the grind. I don't. Yeah, Ejecutor. If you have a pick, I think it's a good idea to kind of share the pick of the wheel. That way, people can see what we're talking about.
Mm.
Yeah, and the cost of the wheel right now at 5,000. I mean, it's subject to change, obviously. So if it's too high and like the community agrees, then we can change it, obviously. There we are. There's the picture.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, let me kind of zoom in here. Actually, let me bring it so that everybody can see this. Okay, so here's the picture of the wheel. Okay. So it looks like bad luck. Yeah, you don't necessarily win something every wheel. So the update here was this is what the mods are testing, but I think it yielded too many mons in the test, and so I think the mons will be reduced here. But yeah, this is interesting. You won't necessarily win something every turn. What's your opinion so far, Ms. Dinkelpuff?
This is interesting because great that it tests at all. That's perfect. I like your organization, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really thorough. But also, I'm thinking about this 5 ticks being too much. But then again, it's a forever game. That's just basically what we just said. Mm-hmm. This is going to go on forever, so just grind. That's the thing we do here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because if it's too much, I mean, I guess that means you have to go into Decentraland and grind some more, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go to the Pope and kind of assign the codes. So essentially, if you're listening on Discord, I'm gonna use this bot to assign codes, and once it's assigned, you can go to the Boomergon bot, send him a DM, and all you have to do is type in /claim, and then you'll get your Pope. And I'm gonna initiate that right now. Okay, here we go. We're gonna assign code. Okay, so man, perfect 200. So everyone listening has been assigned a code. All you have to do is DM the Boomergon bot and then type in /claim, and you will get your POAP. Okay, let me show the POAP just in case.
Oh, it's very cute.
Yep. spent a lot of time kind of figuring out like the animation stuff, but
Yeah,
now
you did the animations.
yeah. Well,
That's
I
nice.
personally didn't do the animations. I used existing animations to kind of make this work.
Oh, all
But I
right.
essentially put it together. So I was like the chef, if you will.
Awesome.
Okay. Let's get a couple confirmations. Tunkoi has received it.
Interaction failed. It doesn't work. Not working.
Uh-oh, doesn't work, not
Uh-oh.
working.
We're done it. Fix it. Chill.
Yeah. Okay. So it's some people are getting it. That's weird.
What? Some are getting it? Oh.
Okay, so Juxon posted
One said I got it.
cannot send messages to this user. Oh, so there's been there's been a lot of spam in Discord. Obviously, everybody gets these DMs, and typically, what everyone does is they go to what's it called here? It's called privacy settings. So go to your privacy settings and make sure that this Discord has enabled privacy settings, and then it should work. Yeah, if some people are getting it, that's that. You know, I think the only difference is privacy settings. Mary DLQ, send a direct message to Boomergon. Not in the chat. Okay.
Marker says it's still the same issue. He's a purple, so I'm guessing mode. And I'm guessing he just changed his settings in that case. Not working here. Same with another mod.
Huh.
Hmm.
Interesting. Okay. So if it didn't work because you weren't assigned a code, potentially there's like a glitch in the bot. Then I'll at the end of the call or towards the end of the call, I'll assign codes again, and those who didn't receive the code should get one. But it's weird. It's weird that some people are getting it and some people are not.
Maybe it's overworking or something. But it's
Yeah.
also like bots. They should work
Yeah,
with at least
exactly.
200 people.
Exactly. Huh. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on for now. Let's see if ERC can kind of chime in here and see if there is or is not an issue with this bot. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Claim.
The chat.
All right. Yeah, man. For some reason, everyone loves these popes, and I get hit up constantly about these popes. It's crazy.
I've seen it in the calls.
Yeah. Might be a reason. Okay. All right. So we'll figure out this Pope thing, and if a lot of you end up not getting it, we'll figure out a way to kind of distribute this. There's definitely enough Poe apps to go around. So yeah, Tunkoi showing flexing with the first community Pope. Okay. All right. So Ms. Dinklepuff, have you spent a lot of time in the 3D game?
Yes. I like that a lot because, first of all, I have a computer that does it quite well.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
I also try to mine my Wonder Mine daily because I'm a grinder and I don't have a job. So I do that and I like it. But then it's, of course, it's lag. It's probably not even beta. I don't know about DCL. And that's just how it is. It's early. It's two different projects. You're doing it with them. So
yeah.
Yeah. It's I do it often though. It's nice.
Yeah, certainly there's a lot Decentraland can do to kind of improve the experience of kind of being in the world. And one of the things that that could help a lot of kind of like their world is creating a client. So essentially, you would download Decentraland onto your computer, and then at that point, now the application is leveraging your hardware specs. Because right now, if you notice, if you jump into Decentraland with just your browser, it's using purely your CPU and not your graphical cards, your
Yeah.
graphics cards. And as soon as you kind of jump in, if you're on a laptop or anything, of that size, the fans spin up no matter how good your laptop is, and it's because of that CPU usage. So jumping into a client, that means that now it's using your graphics card, which is a lot more efficient than just using your CPU. But there's definitely a lot Decentraland can do, and I think they could be working on it. So a little bit better of experience is to come soon, and it's better for everyone in Decentraland for sure. Slime Fusion. What is this? Oh, the image.
Nice.
Okay. Mr. Daly. He says, any news on the Hambrisk DCL bug fix?
I'm guessing that's the switchy part.
I guess so. I'm not aware of this glitch, at least in my conversations. So if it persists, definitely make sure you bring it up with ethermon.io/support and create a ticket for that. Okay, I got an image here for the Boomergon. It's say okay, no. Yeah, a lot of people still struggling with the Pope. I want my poop.
Bot isn't online.
Oh, okay. So you guys brought the bot down. All right.
Probably yes.
Yeah. So let's ping ERC. I know ERC is definitely busy. Let's ping. The tables have turned. Okay. All right. Let me see. I'm getting a lot of DMs right now. Okay. No big deal. Yeah. So we're spending a lot of the time on kind of designing the 3D game, just because I think it'll bring sort of like a diverse type of gameplay experience for all the players, because the 2D game is done very well, but it's only battle focused, and I think we can reach sort of a larger audience of just a different type of gameplay. Like, for example, eventually you might be able to grind and build like a really advanced axe, and that could be a subsection of the player base that wants to improve sort of their axing skill, right? Or fishing skill, or and eventually, of course, battling in Decentraland PvP style for Emon, right? That's the end game for the 3D sort of space. But definitely a lot of resources are being spent for the 3D. But I think it does represent the sort of like a bigger experience, being in kind of a metaverse that was created by a different project. It is the biggest metaverse that we have right now, and then just building on top of it, I think kind of yields something unique in terms of like a game, and so that I think that's what excites me the most. But I wonder, I guess what the feedback would be if we were to create this game, and there's a lot emphasis on the play to earn experience with different types of gameplay other than PvP, right? So what if you could grind for like this advanced item, and then would that be sufficient enough to like just flip on the open market? Is that considered play to earn?
Yes.
You think so? Yeah.
I mean, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, because I think if it's understood that it takes a lot of effort to get a particular item, then it would be perceived to be desirable, right, in the open market, and you have a little business there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like Boomer is gone.
Why, after dumb battle in 2D, always need to click force to sync the daily quest reward? That's actually interesting. I don't need to do that.
I don't think you need to do that. I don't think you need to sync it. I think that's a legacy thing that you used to have to do back when Ethereum was inexpensive, and I think the button is still there for some reason, but I don't think you need to force sync. Okay, so let's do this real quick. Let me let's confirm that this Boomer Gone bot is down.
And he just said that if you send over the codes, we can distribute them manually.
Okay.
If it's really broken.
Yeah, actually, let me do that. Let me find the codes again. So, 1 second, guys. I'll have the mods kind of help me out with the distribution of this. I got the codes right here. Okay, and I'm going to be sending that out in the mod chat. Okay. Here we are. Let me find the mods chat, and then the mods will have the codes. And worst case scenario, we're gonna distribute these posts sort of manually. And we've seen this problem before. Like depending on these bots, sometimes they go down, and when you need them most, that's when they go down for sure. But there's always a fix. It's just a little bit more manual labor, but it's totally fine. All right, let me find this mod chat. And yeah, keep an eye on any of the questions that you see there. Okay, here we are.
You're still distressing this clicking the force button. I cannot click the force sync button after the battle and claim the daily quest reward. The energy didn't reflect a new battle in the case. I need to go back home and click the force sync button.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, that is unusual.
Yeah. But he debugged it himself, so that's quite cool. Just wait a bit. Oh, that's also true. Refreshing works too. Great responses.
Okay, now the moderators have the links. As you guys kind of distribute that, we have a couple of giveaways to do. So we're gonna give away about 1,000 Emon to 10 players, and we're gonna give away 2 NFTs to 2 additional players. And let's do this in the next. We're gonna do this right now, and we're gonna set this up for the next 10 minutes. So here, if you guys bear with me, I will set this up, and you'll be able to interact with this bot. Let's see if this bot works. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're gonna go live stream chat. We're gonna do next 10 minutes. Okay, so there are going to be 12 winners. The first 10 will get Emon. The last 2 will get the NFTs.
Do we have a sneak peek on the NFTs they will have?
It's going to be a random selection of
Ooh.
the Genesis Reborn mons that are in the store. So,
All right.
so you'll be surprised with the two that you get.
Mm. Armat knows what's up. How can I take?
All right, so it has popped. Go to the live stream chat and interact with the bot, and then you'll have a chance to win this.
No, don't click twice.
Okay, let me pin this, and yeah, we are ready.
Volodan, up in the chat, there's a giveaway bot, and it's counting like little toots or fireworks. You need to click the firework.
Yes, yeah, a little firework, confetti emoji there. Yeah, so go to the pin section, look for the giveaway bot, and then react to it, and then you're in. So this is 1,000 Emon to distributed to 10 players, and then 2 NFTs. Oh, was that the previous week one? Oh man. Okay. Hold on. Let me find the new one here. Yeah, that must have been last week's. Okay, let me find the new one.
Oh no. Oh, that's so cute. No, you don't need to talk to it, Volan. You just need to do the emoji under it. So the updates were very good. I liked that.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And that's only like 10% of the stuff that I was sent earlier today by the dev team. Usually on Wednesdays, since we do these community calls, they a lot of the team members just kind of talk about all the stuff that they've been working on, and I can only pick like the highest level items and kind of talk about that, just because there's just too much to kind of talk about, and a lot of the stuff that's being built is like so technical that it's difficult to even make sense as to exactly like what that means for the player. Like, for example, we're doing a database migration, and this migration, as complicated as that sounds, this migration leads to potentially quickly issuing NFTs, and then those NFTs having unique attributes to them, like pretty much instantaneously. So
that's perfect.
Yeah, so that functionality happens because of a migration. So as weird as that sounds.
Very cool. We could add a DM and auto-delete pot. We could. All the good questions, but gets lost because of the POAP discussion.
Yeah, yeah.
Where to find the bot?
Okay, popes are coming.
Pinned.
Okay. Keep an eye on the bot, everybody. It's gonna pop like within the next 5 minutes, so make sure you've reacted to it.
How big of a dev team do you have? If that's not too intrusive.
Let me count. Let's see.
And I'm guessing it's different teams, just they give you different information and do different stuff.
Yeah. So we have. Let me think. So obviously we have Corv focused on the MetaZone side, which that's a ton of work, and then we have about 4 others, and I guess depends on what you consider a dev, but because there's a lot of 3D artists, there's a lot of like art design, like all those are like significantly important.
Yeah.
Just as much as the devs. But we have 4 devs on the 3D side, and then we have no, actually 5 devs on the 3D side, 6 devs. Sorry, 6 devs, and then we have
Wow.
like 4 or 5 on the 2D side.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like purely like programmers, right? This isn't
Yeah,
like the
exactly. This is just these
yeah.
monkey coding people. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, and then on
Whew.
top of that's like the 2D artists, and kind of helping with like all the ancillary art that we have. So yeah, I mean it's pretty big if you kind of think about it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Okay, man, I'm missing the chat here because I'm kind of like following the moderator's chat.
They are disgusting poems.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you tell me his password? Oh, are we going to try another distribution in the end, or are we just going to leave it to the mods?
I think we're going to leave
Spelling
it
out.
leave it to the mods, just because now that they have the list there, I think the distribution might mess up because since we have a list of links and those links are being used for one bot and then being distributed manually, then it kind of messes up. So I think it's up to the mods now to kind of distribute.
Cool.
All right. Let me check the pin and see if this thing has popped. It looks like in 4 minutes. In 4 minutes, this thing will pop.
Well, I have to say that even though it's a lot of documentation that you need to go through, which is not illogical because it's a huge game, I have to say that I am amazed by I told you the organization, but also the professionalism. You have these calls, which is great. You have even the pamphlet or whatever that we need to sign for becoming mods. I mean, it's well thought through, and it's very obvious that this project is older than most. It's really, really good.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And a lot of the organization is really coming from Ryan. So RMAC. So shout out to RMAC. Yeah, he set up a lot of the documentation for the mods, as well as the guides that you can find on the Ethermon website. And so he's an extremely organized guy. So shout out to Ryan.
Nice. What do people want the most for tutorials? That's a good thread.
What was the question?
He basically asked, speaking of documentation, what do people want the most for tutorials? I'm guessing the question is basically if it's video, or I'm guessing he wants the documentation about what is going to be in them.
That's a good question. I guess tutorials, I mean, I think in this day and age, whenever you guys do research, the first thing everybody does is go to YouTube. And
yes,
I think tutorials on YouTube is probably the best bet. I think the problem with doing that is, since the game is changing, these YouTube videos become obsolete like relatively quickly, like within a month. And I mean, like for example, if you go back to just in May, I did a video on how to buy Emon, I believe, something like that. And the process to buy Emon has completely changed.
I did that too, and I'm not even that much. I'm quite new. I did that and was like, I don't think it's actually the same anymore.
Yeah. I guess, man, distributing these popes is going to be pretty difficult. So I'll let the mods kind of like deliberate as the best way to do that. I guess I recommend just creating a Google form, sign up sheet with a bunch of ETH addresses, and then just distributing it that way.
Yeah. Screenshot who is in the actual community call. If you don't have that saved somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Ryan is chiming in and says, we can make a lot of video tutorials, but yes, harder to keep updated unless we redo every single update. That's
Yeah.
right.
I think documentation. I mean, yes, it sucks, but that's what will function in the long run. And yes, we as mods will have all these same questions all the time, but it's probably better with documentations than videos.
Yeah, I agree. Dreyer, do you want to talk about Medikey? Yes. All right. So first, we got the bot has popped. Congratulations. All right. So the last two winners there, Lil YF and JD16, you guys got Ethermon NFTs. Congrats. And then the rest of you got 100 Emon.
Awesome.
So going back to Medikey, we have a few minutes. So what's interesting about this collaboration with Ethermon and Medikey is there's going to be essentially two Mons. And so there's going to be two Mons. And everyone who wants one can get one. And what you'll do with this Mon, the first one that you can get, is you'll have to use that to dig. And either dig or battle slimes. But essentially, no matter what the activity is, you have to use that Mon, and you'll have a chance to discover this new Mon, right? This sort of like chicken-looking Ethermon, which is like really, really well modeled. Like it's really, really cool. I don't think we've shown any pictures yet. I kind of want to wait for their announcement to do that because they have a really cool video about to drop. So I kind of want to leave that to a surprise. But you'll use this Mon to dig or battle to have a chance to find the other Ethermon. And so if you're holding a Medikey with this Mon that everyone has, you'll have a significantly higher chance at finding that other Ethermon. And when I say significant, I mean like a percentage or two, right? In the grand scheme of things, it's significant. So Medikey holders have that little advantage, but yeah, everyone has a chance to find this Ethermon. All right. Okay, so we got some winners. We had a little trouble with the Popes. We had a good introductory call with Ms. Dinklepuff. And if there's any other questions, JD16. So she's asking how to claim for the winners. If you won today, make sure you DM me your ETH address, and I will. Let me see if I can find that post here. Yeah, here we are. So I'm going to respond to this. DM me your ETH address, and then the prizes will be sent out within 72 hours.
And someone asked, how do I get these MetaKey Mon?
Yeah, so the Medikey Mon is once this announcement drops from Medikey, everyone will get this Ethermon. I think it's called an orb, and so this orb Ethermon you'll have to go into Decentraland to dig or battle. I don't remember which one, but and then
do you have to have a MetaKey to?
No, you don't
get that. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, you don't. If you have a Medikey, you have a higher chance at getting the second Mon, right? The cooler looking one. And yeah, so that's the advantage of having a Medikey. And everyone who holds a Medikey now has like a pretty cool activity to do in Decentraland at the minimum.
Nice. He thinks it's already dropped in their announcement, so I will go check after this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, jump into the Medikey Discord and look for that announcement. Yeah. Thank you, Kirzos. Such an epic collab with Medikey and Ethermon. Yep.
Yes. Really cool.
I'm pretty sure they've talked about it. I saw that announcement. But this orb Ethermon doesn't exist yet. But it is coming. So stay tuned for that. You guys will be the first to know. Since we have these weekly calls, I promise you guys will be the first to know when you can get this and how to get it. Okay, just looking through some of these last questions here.
Yesterday, 1721 my time set, they did have the announcement of the Ethermons and meta keys. So that's perfect.
Do they show?
So you can find that in the Discord
Perfect.
of meta key in their announcements.
Perfect. Do they show the image of the Ethermon?
No.
Okay, yeah. So it's still a secret.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Okay, so congratulations to the winners. We had a little trouble with the Pope. We'll figure out with the moderators the best way to kind of distribute that in like the most painless way. And thank you guys for showing up. Ms. Dinklepuff, thank you for showing up as well. I appreciate you joining. You can join anytime you want. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, the invitation is always open. Thank you guys for showing up as well. This is, like I mentioned in the first section of the call, this is like the single most important thing that we do is talk to the community, make sure that everyone has, we can hear their feedback. Everyone's aligned with like the direction of the Ethermon game. And then, we hope we bring this game to you guys that you guys enjoy playing. So I appreciate you guys for showing up. We'll be here same time next Wednesday, 6 p.m. UTC. And what time is it over there for you, Ms. Dinklepuff?
21. So it starts at 8 p.m.
8 p.m.? Okay, cool. So it's not too late for you.
Where do you live?
I live in Texas, Houston, Texas.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it actually works. It's very, very many of these NA meetings on NFT space is like 2 a.m. I'm like, no, I'm sleeping. So this is actually very good. It's perfect.
All right, guys. Yeah. Thank you for joining. We will see you next week. Same time, 6 p.m. UTC. All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.